Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports This Morning. It's the Thursday morning edition of the show. Promises to be exciting, full of information as always. My name is Tony Ibitoye. I must say, very big thank you to you for joining us on the show this morning. Yemi Adebayo is my partner on the program. And Yemi, let me welcome you to Sports This Morning. Yesterday I called you Karim Benzema, but then today I'm not going to call you that.
Well,
or what do I call you?
Iron
Robin.
I'm just Yemi, but yeah. I guess the excitement was the same as it was on Tuesday. I mean, the games that were played yesterday were very exciting. Forget the fact that Bayern did beat Marseille, but both games, especially the Milan-Barcelona game, lived up to expectation. And, you know, all across Europa games today as well. You know, all this, for the last 2 months, we've been enjoying it.
Football on a regular basis.
Feast of football. And I just hope it can continue. But unfortunately, we're going into the latter stages of those competitions, and you're likely not going to be having games on a regular basis like we've had. But the ones we've had, we've enjoyed it. It has been very good. It has been very entertaining.
All right, so Tuesday was UEFA Champions League. Yesterday night was UEFA Champions League. Tonight it will be the Europa League. But interestingly, no English teams left in the race. But I'm sure the excitement will still be the same because of the quality of football that we expect. Well, on the program this morning, before we talk the state of football in Europe, we will focus, of course, a lot on our own game. The Nigerian Football Federation, we'll talk about it. The Nigerian Premier League, Week 17 games. 4 Week 17 games were played yesterday. 6 will be played today. We'll talk about the games played yesterday. We'll preview the games to be played today. And of course, what other things do we have on the lineup? UEFA Champions League, of course. We'll take a look at all of that. Don't forget that today, very much unlike yesterday, we have bigger number of papers to review on the show. So we'll review the papers to find out what stories are making the headlines this morning. All right, so I think we're set. Yemi, let's start off from the boardroom. Let's start from the boardroom because no matter what we say, whatever decisions are taken in the boardroom have a way of affecting whatever football will play on the pitch. Organization is a key part of football everywhere in the world, and that's where maybe we've been missing it in Nigeria sometimes. Take a look at this decision that you have on your screen. The NFF Executive Committee met yesterday and they took some decisions. The first one, maybe what I'll do is I'll read through and then we will dwell on the key ones that are maybe more important than the other ones. The first one, very key. A 6-man strategic team has been set up by the NFF. That was the result of the Congress they had in Kaduna to set up a task force that will help to draw up a roadmap for Nigerian football. And that strategic team has been set up to fashion, to fashion a roadmap for sustainable development of Nigerian football. Massive. That's massive. And the committee has Sanitoro as the chairman. You know him. Sanitoro is the chairman. We have Shehu Diko, business, sports marketer, plenty of knowledge. And during the elections, he was one of those that everybody felt because of the quality of what he was bringing to the table was going to get something. But at the end of the day, he didn't win the election. Bumini Alao, respected sports columnist.
Needs no introduction.
Doesn't need too much of an introduction. The same with Onoche and Ibeze. Respected sports journalists. They've seen it all. They've gone around the world. They know how football is run. And then we have Simon Ikia, another young person who knows a lot about football. And of course, Charles Ojubana doesn't need any introduction. That's the 6-man task force. And then the second decision, Tom Saintfaith's appointment as technical director of the Nigerian Football Federation has been approved. He will work with the Nigerian coach. That one will work with him, understudy him. So that's that for these two decisions. The other decisions that were taken has got to do with coaches. Kaduri Kana's appointment as Super Falcons coach approved is to work with Richard Wadike and some other assistants. John Obu retains his job as Flying Eagles coach. Is to work with the same technical backup staff that they had the last time. Abimbola Samuel, Shaibu Suleiman, Madagin, all the same set. Who work with him for
continuity's sake.
So if we are continuing with Obu, then we'll continue with the
same backup staff.
The only thing we can't continue is the same set of players. We have to look for
we can't continue because some of them are still within the age bracket.
Some of them are still going to come back anyway. And then the friendly games for the Super Eagles of Nigeria against Egypt in Abu Dhabi on April 12th, and the friendly in Lima against Peru May 24th have been approved. And then the executive committee also told the technical committee to set up a technical crew for Nigeria's five-a-side national team. I think there's a World Cup now for five-a-side that will be taking place in Thailand. Those are the decisions. But Yemi, let's dwell on some key decisions. The first one, strategic. Let me read that part again. Strategic team to fashion out a roadmap for the sustainable development of Nigerian football. Too much English for me.
You read my mind, actually. I mean, I love the names I hear, I love the names I see, but that's not always been the problem. You can call any man on the street and he's going to give you a blueprint for how Nigerian football should be run. And if we follow it, we would achieve. But the problem has always been that you gather a lot of people together, allow them brainstorm, allow them work, and at the end of the day, they present a paper that you're going to probably dump somewhere. And my thinking is, I don't know when this board's tenure will be over, but I know it's less than 2 years. I mean,
2014.
Okay, but
2 years,
just 2 years.
2 years.
So it looks to me as if they don't know that in 2 years they'll be. You're talking as someone who has eternity to plan. That's the way the first
for me
sounds to me.
Yeah, for me, what is this? I mean, is a committee of very respected persons.
No doubt about
very respected persons.
No doubt about that.
The same with the ONEA committee.
Yes.
Very respected person. In fact, Sanitoro, who is the chairman of this one now,
is there.
Was part of the ONEA committee. So for me, I do not still have an understanding of the blend. Some people said this one came as a result of the Congress of the NFF. But you and I know that the Congress can be
manipulated.
Told to do things.
Yes.
That's one.
A phone call.
The second one, the NFF and some other rival groups agreed that they were going to work with the ONEA committee reports and allow it to be fully implemented. And in one of the communiques that the NFF issued at one of their board meetings, they said they were going to work with the Dominic ONEA committee reports. So I still do not have an understanding of how we are going to harmonize the Dominic ONEA reports with this 6-month strategic committee. I don't understand. I don't have a blend.
I was trying to be nice, but
okay.
The truth is,
be nice. Still be nice.
The truth is a waste of time and resources, because I believe the leadership of the NFF knows what it takes to turn around football. The will to do the right thing is where the problem is. I mean, we had, apart from the ONEA, I think we had 1 or 2
presidential
last year.
Yes.
So if you need a roadmap,
if
you need a roadmap, you already have it. So let's stop wasting our time. To me, it looks like they're trying to buy time. They're trying to get people off their back. And like I've always said, as much as I give them praise in some areas, they are always trying to be seen as doing something so that you can get, probably people can get off their back. And if they continue like this, they will just wake up one day and discover, oh, our tenure is over. And they'll start, scheming to come back. But when that time comes, the question we will ask is, what have you done when you were there? And thank God that a kind of peace has been brokered. And I would have expected that at this time, that they would do things that will show that these guys mean well for Nigerian football. I'm not judging them, but from the signs that I see, it's just a merry-go-round. It's just a merry-go-round. Nothing has changed. Nothing has happened.
Because of the quality of the persons. Okay, I don't think it has to do
with he has gone past giving them the benefit of the doubt.
These guys will do a good job.
They will.
But is that where it will end?
It will end there. I feel sorry for some of the names. Maybe sorry is too much on the extreme, but some of the names, some things, because some of these guys, when they do this job, if I were them, probably I wouldn't honor the invitation. I wouldn't, because I would imagine that some other guys have done a thorough job. They've done a thorough job.
Report.
Yes, and you didn't do anything with that. So you're probably, I would see it as if you're dragging me in the mud, because I would do a good job, and at the end of the day, nothing comes of it. But if this FA had shown the will that, okay, when we gather people in a committee, when we put people together, when they submit a report to us, when they give us a blueprint, we follow through. Or we had our own input and follow through. But when something gets dumped into a corner, I mean, it's cause for worry.
All right, so what you are saying is, you see a situation where maybe the sports minister will still insist that ONEA report will be followed through, and then where do we now put this new 6-man committee that is in place? Or you expect us to have a blend of those two?
What I see is a logjam, because some people, you know, a lot of things, all these things they are danger signals for me, because I thought from the last thing we heard that the Onea report was going to be followed, maybe some input here and there, and for me this committee is needless and pointless.
Okay, let's talk about Tom Seinfeld and talk about the Flying Eagles, the appointment of coaches. Not unexpected. We've always known that was how they were going to go. For John Obu, a chance for him to do better than he did the last time.
Yeah.
Qualify first of all for the African Youth Championship.
Yes.
Then from the African Youth Championship, qualify for the World Youth Championship.
And probably give us that elusive trophy.
Yeah, maybe that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's what because we've gotten to the final on 2 occasions. He was able to take us to the quarterfinal, and we hope now that since he's on the job, since he has gathered experience, now just maybe we might be able to do 2 things: build a team for the future through the Flying Eagles, and probably win. But I would take development over winning at age grade competitions. I don't know if I'm speaking the mind of the NFF, but I would love to see players that I will see on the stage in the next 12, 15 years. I'm not saying all of them wholesale, but at least 50% of the guys that turn up for the next tournament. So even if we get to win, we will celebrate it and enjoy it for a while, but at the end of the day, if we don't get to see some of these boys in the next 10, 12 years, it means that probably we achieved a little. And so I hope that John Obu will be able to balance, looking for young guys, fresh legs, and at the same time using his tactical acumen to take us far in the competition.
All right, so when you talk about young people, you're looking at someone like Ramon Aziz,
yes,
that you just seen on your screen, and some of them, we don't even know the Jalil Ajagons of this world, the Uche Nwanfos of this world, the Kadolariwajis of this world.
Most of
have an opportunity.
Most of which still fall within the age bracket, and it won't be we won't be doing anything wrong if we,
if they still go for another one.
If they still go,
but they're still relevant.
But the problem with age grade teams, quickly, I just want to add that, is that most of these guys, when they play these age grade competitions, they don't get foreign clubs, and some of them
they're
just
so desperate, they just go and waste away,
and they feel that because I've played at age grade, I can't come back and play in the Premier League, and they just stay somewhere, and they
rot away.
They live on reputation, and by the time they come back to the maybe next team, they've lost it.
I think that was the problem with someone like Stanley Okoro.
Yes,
and made him miss the World Cup. So I think that they will learn a few lessons from that as well. Let's talk about the big team now, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Stephen Keshi is on vacation now. It deserves it.
Well
for the past 5 months since December last year, he's been working from one level to the other, and I think he needs some kind of break. But he's gone to the US now to join his family. He will be teaming up with the Eagles in Abu Dhabi. Of course, you saw during the discussion on the NFF communique, we have a friendly against Egypt April 12th. He will be joining the team April 9 in Abu Dhabi, and Amokachi and his assistants will be coordinating things from this end.
I'm happy for him. If you cast your mind back to December, we said a lot of things about this analysis. I mean, the super sport that he went for, and we said we hope that in 3 months' time we will not be talking about things backfiring. But he hasn't backfired, and I'm so happy for him that he's still on the job, and things have been going well, and he has showed some form of commitment. Kudos to him for that, and I hope he can continue like that. I hope he can make personal sacrifices for the good of the team, and at the end of the day, we'll have a Super Eagles that we can all smile. The only thing that comes close in my mind was the John Obu team that went to the last tournament. They played some games that reminds you of how you want to see a Nigerian team play. At the end of the day, they didn't get what we wanted, but at least they brought smiles to our faces, and we hope at some point the Super Eagles will remain. I'm not saying go and win 2013 Nations Cup, but give us a team that we can be proud to support, not just being patriotic by supporting them.
All right, so that's the issue for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Amokachi will be in charge while Keshi goes on a vacation, take a break for a few weeks, and he has to cool off his mind, cool off his body, and come recharged for the battles ahead. Because after the April 12th game, the game against Peru in Lima, we are going into a very busy schedule in June, where we play 3 games every weekend.
We might likely even have in between. We might likely
and we may still play some friendly games,
squeezing some games, because we can be very flexible with our home base arrangement. We can get some quality friendlies with our neighbors around, and the home base guys are not complaining, and we're getting the chance to knock them into shape and get something out of them. So Keshi should be ready for that. All
right, so that's the uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. When you are coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria and you are working with an NFF board that is organizing friendlies every time, that means you have plenty of work on your hands. Let's go to the papers now very quickly and check out what the papers have for us this morning. The Complete Sports is still the same story we talked about. Seinfeld gets 3.2 million naira a month Nigerian deal. Interesting. That means the Super Eagles coach is even earning more than this Belgian. I don't see where there will be a conflict. I don't think there will be a conflict. This man is to sit down and draw policies and draw up programs, training of coaches in the Nigerian league and other things. And Keshi is focused on the senior national team. So I don't think there will be a conflict.
We hope it's job description. We get to know its job description, because in our own thinking it might be like this, but we want to get to see his job duties, job description. Let's know what he is being brought to do, so that at the end of the day there won't be any conflicts.
Okay, other stories are there. Aluko will commit to Rangers. If you can read up the story, Amokachi drills Eagles for Egypt friendly. We talked about that before. FIPRO wants charges against Emenike dropped. You can get that as well. Emenike says, I was racially abused in Russia. These are stories that you will find on the front page of Complete Sports. Vieira referees favor United. Well, that will go on and on and on, and you can get the Complete Sports for all the details. Soccer Star is the next one. Mikel hails Chelsea's UEFA Champions League form. Chelsea, well, they could be ending the season with 2 trophies against all expectations. NFF endorses Belgian as technical director, and we talked about all of that. Let's not waste time on that. Keshi off to the US. Will be joining the Eagles in Abu Dhabi April the 9th. Senator reads the Riot Act to football. Sponsors Abuja Stadium to go up 110 million naira for the grassing. You can read up the Soccer Star for all of these details. New Schalke 04 deal excites Obasi. Okay, Sports Day. Seinfeld is new technical director. You can read up the details. We've talked at length about this. The Belgian. Well, a lot of people are doubting his credibilities and his credentials, but I think he does have some eye-catching credentials, if you ask me. Keshi off to the US to see family. Go for goal. Jonathan charges Team Nigeria. And then Barca holds Milan. We'll talk later about the UEFA Champions League. And Manchester United honor Globacom boss Adenuga. That's honor coming in for a Nigerian from English Premier League champions, Manchester United. Okay, the last one, Sporting Life, quit soccer now. Nigerians to Nwankwo Kanu. Okay, they want him to rest his limbs.
He has been told that several times. But 10 years ago. I remember 10 years ago after the World Cup, they said, leave football, football leaves you. 10 years down the line, still plays. The man is a cat with 9 lives.
Yeah. So but then you shouldn't overdo it.
Yeah.
NFF inaugurates reconciliation committee. One of the things they did yesterday was set up a reconciliation committee, and we've talked about this. Flying Eagles get South Africa tourney ticket. You can read up this one. Megiri to Falconets go for glory. You can read up all of these from the papers this morning. Yemi, was the next thing? Nigerian Premier League. Let's talk Nigerian Premier League. Yesterday, we had games played, week 17 of the Nigerian Premier League, and we had 4 games played yesterday. Today, we'll be having 6 games to be played. But let's start off by bringing you the results of the matches played yesterday. 4 of the games that were played yesterday in the Nigerian Premier League, and we'll talk about the 4 games, and then we'll talk about the 6 games to be played today. Wiki Tourist dropped points at home for the first time, 1-1 against Enyimba. 3SC winning 1-0 over Kwara United. Mutuari Goke's free kick, and back to winning ways for them after they told their coach to step aside. Rising Stars lost at home 0-1 to Dolphins, and that's the 6th consecutive loss for Rising Stars, and they are not Rising Stars. Tunde said they are sinking stars. And Ocean Boys, Abaka Bukola Saraki,
I can't agree less.
1-1. Abaka Bukola Saraki, 8 games unbeaten.
I'm
actually
torn. You know, I don't know. Maybe to say Dolphins is my team of the week, or Abubakar
Bukola Saraki.
They've done so well. They've done so well. If you look at it cumulatively, the way they've played, in recent times, in the past weeks, yes, I'm impressed. And Dolphins as well, getting an away victory is very good.
Okay, today, Lobi Stars against Kaduna United, Kano Pillars against Sunshine, massive game that will be in Kano. Jigawa against Tornadoes of Mina, Aqua United against Atland, in Uyo. That's where the game will be played now. The newly approved center for Aqua United. Warri Wolves against Gombe, and then Sharks against Rangers will be live on Cable TV Super Sports, so you can catch
It's going to be a very good advertisement for Nigerian League, even Warri Wolves and Gombe. I would love to see both set of games. It will be very interesting to see how it goes.
All right, so those are the fixtures for today in the Nigerian Premier League. You can trust us that later tonight, after those games have been played, we will be giving you a very comprehensive review. Talk about the outstanding teams, outstanding players, goal scorers, and all of that in the Nigeria Premier League. Yesterday, in the UEFA Champions League, we had Marseille losing at home to Bayern 0-2, and of course, we had a massive game at the San Siro ending in a draw. Milan, Barca playing out a goalless draw.
Well, I feel sorry for Marseille. I feel they put in effort. It wasn't just enough on the night. I think Bayern Munich were clinical, took their chances when they had them, and when the guys were chasing the equalizer, they just. I really don't know. Maybe I could say there were some issues about the Bayern second goal, but I mean the ref allowed it to stand, and so it is 2-0. It's like a mountain too high for Marseille, losing at home and going to Bayern Munich for the second leg. I think it's not done and dusted. AC Milan, Barcelona, yes, Milan have given themselves a fighting chance. I love the way they set themselves up to play. They
prevent Barcelona from scoring.
Restrict them
and then fancy your chances of getting a score draw.
And do you know what I love about Italians? They don't need to boss you. They don't need to dominate before creating chances. You can dominate
possession and do all of that.
You can do all that, and they would score just one or two chances. One guy can just hold off three players, pass the ball to one person, and before you know it, and Zlatan, for once, on a big night, prove that is, to me, I've always had that against Zlatan.
He was motivated to play against his former teammates.
Yes, and because he received a lot of flack when he was with Barcelona. A lot of people said he didn't do too well. And on the night, it showed. It shone like a million stars. It showed that he is a world-class player. I've always had that against him in the big games. But this season, especially in the Serie A and in the Champions League, he's lived up to the billing in big games. And I wouldn't want to say Barcelona was disappointed. They tried to play. They were frustrated. And there was a particular occasion where Nesta just had to throw his leg to prevent Messi from it just shows you how well
how
they
committed
kept,
they were.
Yeah, and when he got the yellow card, he didn't complain because he knew what he did, and it was a very good game. I hope to see the second leg, how it pans out, and maybe one or two players injured on both sides will return, both sides having the full complement of their squad. Then we'll see how it goes. But you would still fancy Barcelona because of the way they play. But Milan has showed us that they will not just fold their hands and watch Barcelona play. It's going to be a fight.
All right, and you don't have to wait for too long for you to see those crucial return leg games. They will take place in 6 days from now. So there's plenty of action for you as well next week. All right, before we close the show and probably leave it with highlights of UEFA Champions League, let's just touch up on the Europa League. Tuesday night Champions League, Wednesday night Champions League, but Thursday night is Europa League time, and we are also down to the quarterfinals. And the fixtures: Atletico Madrid against Hannover, that's Spain against Germany. AZ Alkmaar against Valencia, Schalke against Athletic Bilbao, another German side against another Spanish side, Sporting Lisbon against Metalist Kharkiv. So it's evenly poised, and when you look at the setup of the quarterfinals, you do not even know who to pick as likely winners. Anybody out of these 8.
The spotlight is on Athletic Bilbao
because they took out United.
Yes, the spotlight is on them. But of particular interest to me is Schalke. Because our boy is going to be involved. If he gets to play, and hopefully Schalke will get a good result. I love the way they turned around the results from the last. They were on the back foot. They came back
and scored 4 goals,
and now they are here and. Against an Athletic Bilbao that took out Man United,
home and away,
convincing without sweat. It's going to be tough.
Some game.
Yeah, I'd love to see that game, and because I'm a Nigerian, I'd probably love to see Chinedu play. Probably love to see Schalke win. I'd probably love to see Klaas-Jan Huntelaar scoring more goals, and Raul just making it hard for someone else to beat his all-time European record. Yeah.
All right, so that's the setting for the games tonight, and I think that's where we also have to draw curtains on sports this morning, this Thursday. We still have one more edition of sports this morning to go. That will be tomorrow morning, but don't forget to join us later tonight. We'll have plenty of time to look at all of these issues in details. But let's leave you with some UEFA Champions League highlights now and ask you to enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye now.
Emerson. Now Gaitan. Rodrigo gives it back to Chelsea. Ramirez, of course, breezed past Emerson a couple of times very early in the first half. Torres can take on Jardel. He's got away from him. Kalou's in the middle. There's Kalou, and Chelsea score in the Stadium of Light. The away goal, and maybe 1 foot in a semi-final. Lack of pace, Scary. We talked about it. Here it is.
Undeserved. He decided to stay on his feet and got his rewards, Fernando Torres. And Kalou, you have deserved that for the work you put in tonight. Not played a lot recently. It's a comfortable chance for him. But I think Chelsea deserve this. It's been a really good away performance. I think he hits the ground there, actually, Fernando Torres.
By the adversary of Jorge Jesus tonight, Roberto Di Matteo. And another Fernando Torres set it up. Ramirez was hurt in the build-up to that, but he squeezed it through as he was caught by Javi Garcia, and Torres was on his way, and Chelsea are on their way. Benfica 0, Chelsea 1. They have taken the lead yet again in the Champions League every game this season. Of course, in the away games, they haven't won any of them. Can they see it through this time? Gaitan. Only passed away by Lampard and lashed at by Matic. Ramirez ready to come back on. Steve Holland there, who is alongside Roberto Di Matteo as well as Eddie Newton. How do we play it from now on in? Will be subject of the discussions, I'm sure. Remembering, Gary, that they have had this lead in away games.
We've
heard a lot about David Luiz as well, and what a good night he's had, but it hasn't yet quite finished. And Cardoso squeezing a shot in improbably. It has finished now. It is Chelsea's best European result of the season, and for some time a first away win of this Champions League campaign, and it's come in the first leg of the quarter-final away to Benfica. A goal 15 minutes from time from Salomon Kalou. Robbie Di Matteo changed the side, freshened it up, brought in the likes of Kalou, and has
side from Cyprus to make it through to the last 8 of the competition. Had the visitors on the back foot. Chances up front. Mesut Ozil